just my body that's falling apart. You want to know the truth? I have this thing called foraminal stenosis. It's in two of my lower vertebrae. So foraminal stenosis is a medical term for my lower back is pretty fucked up. And I suffer pain for it. I have neuropathy in my feet. So you remember on TV, you're old enough to remember, like, Wide World of Sports, thrill, victory, agony of defeat. So for me, it's literally agony of defeat. Defeat, all about defeat. You know? And sometimes in arguments with my partner, I don't even have a leg to stand on. You know? At least this one's safe. She hasn't threatened to kill me yet, where she hasn't taken out kitchen knives, you know, or threatened bodily harm, or assaulted me bodily harm. So, I mean, it's pretty safe. I'm surviving a 12-year relationship, but I'm not going to go out and get a T-shirt about it. So it's just a thing, you know. And you guys, like, you remember how things used to be when you were quite young. I mean, there have been some radical changes in technology in our society in the last 40, 50 years. Like, it used to be that you'd have a phone that was mounted on the wall and you had to answer it. You know? Today, you know, you have a cell phone and you have the option of letting it go to voicemail, which is fine for me, but the only problem with it is that I have to listen to one of my friend's autistic voicemail messages, which annoys the hell out of me. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much life on the spectrum. And, you know, like, finding work is very hard because job interviews. Oh my God, don't get me started. Job interviews, like, the interviewer would invariably ask me, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I would say, jail. And then I wonder why I didn't get the job. You know? It says, are you on any medications? Well, to tell you the truth, I accidentally took one of your birth controls that you left on your desk before when you went out for a smoke. You know? And they asked me, like, well, what's your greatest accomplishment in life? I said, well, I can say my greatest accomplishment in life was surviving 15 minutes of interview with you, looking at your ugly face, and smelling your smelly cigarettes. I mean, it was rough. It was, like, really rough in those days before they outlawed smoking in offices. You're allowed to smoke in office. Like, you know, smoke rooms, smoking offices was the norm. You know, so, and they wouldn't give you any sick leave. They would give you very few sick days. Now, today, if an employee in a company wants to go out to a smoke, they go on the rooftop, which makes it a lot easier to contemplate suicide from the rooftop. You know, and it reminds me of that wise man once said, live every day as though it were your last. So I wake up every morning and I contemplate suicide. You know, and I think, like, finding work, dating. Oh my God, dating on the spectrum is like almost next to impossible. You know, because sit down for coffee with the girl, and she would ask me invariably, like, are you always as quiet as on the first date? I said, yes, but you should see me on the second date. I'm a real animal. Yeah. You know, and for single ladies, like, I feel you. Single ladies have a really, really tough time. You're looking for Mr. Right Now, and all you're finding is Mr. Let's have sex right now, and it's really, really tough. You know, even though now, in spite of the fact that now it's the in thing to be a woman, a lot of men are transitioning to become a woman, you know, and I'm not sorry I'm a woman, although I was once called a woman. Truth in fact, I was called a woman, not to my face, but in a answering machine voicemail message, called me a woman. Why? Because I didn't subscribe to the ideology of toxic masculinity when I refused to hit on a bartender that was about half my age. I mean, that's what it was like back in those days. And that was in not too long ago, actually, in the late 90s. I have to tell you, in the 1980s, things have changed. In the 1980s, for a guy to come out as homosexual would be subjecting himself to shameful, the most agonizing, shameful disdain and scorn. Like I once went out to a club. You probably heard about Cafe Cleopatra on Saint Laurent. You heard about Cafe Cleopatra on Saint Laurent Boulevard. So in those days, where they had the drag queen shows and the trannies, the trans drag queen shows. So we go upstairs to the show bar, and I lose him for about 10 or 15 minutes. And long story short, we walk out of the bar, and he tells me his story that he met this woman, but I wasn't sure if it was a woman. It might have been a man who was making out with her. So I said, Shlomo, relax. I'm sure she was a woman. She was a woman. He said she let me feel her up. I mean, so she was a woman. But still, he was doubting his own masculinity. He was spitting. We're walking away to the car. He's spitting on the sidewalk. I can't believe it. I'm homosexual. And as he's flagellating himself, he's spitting on the sidewalk, thinking that he's a homosexual. I mean, that's how backward. You see how far we came in the last 40, 50 years, where it's, more acceptable. And the fact that, a guy who come out as a homosexual is like, yay, come on stage, in cruise show, yay, they get all the spots. Me, a regular, 60 plus, straight guy, cisgender, I got very few spots.